Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Welcome back to the return of Going In Deep.
Oh, yeah.
The official podcast of the Uranus Awards, no matter what.
Amen.
And, as always, we are coming to you live from Mill Iron Studios in New York.
Yes, we are.
My name is Zach. I'm joined with my two co-hosts.
This is Max.
And Mike.
You sure?
No, I was just,
Daydreaming?
I mean, I don't want to interrupt the intro, but I just realized I haven't opened Letterboxd since, like, our last episode.
Oh, jeez.
Boy. Have you even seen a movie since we, last reviewed? What was it?
We did, Black Panther together.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think Mike and I have tried a couple things since then.
Yeah, Mike got married. Everything. A lot has happened.
So
Mike
much has
got
happened.
married to his beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wonderful wedding.
Me and Max got married.
Got
Yeah.
trashed.
Got trashed.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful wedding in New York. We're very happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not for his wife, though. We hate her.
I don't hate you, Linda, but, you know. You aight.
So
So we're doing something different today.
yeah, we're not going to talk about a movie that came out recently, like Ant-Man or anything like that. We're going to talk about, in I think all of our opinion, one of the greatest superhero movies, if not one of the greatest movies ever made.
I thought we were talking about a small indie film this time around. A little movie called The Dark Knight.
The Who?
The Dark Knight, you ever heard of it?
The Who?
It was a superhero film that came out about 10 years ago. It generated kind of a small cult following.
Has it been 10 years?
It has been 10
2008.
years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I was working at a movie theater when that came
Are you
out.
really?
Yeah.
Which one? Not that I will know.
The Darien Playhouse. And that was,
Where's that?
so long ago. That was in my town, Darien, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this movie came out.
Did they have a lot of dairy?
Yes.
This movie came out the summer I finished my first year of high school, so that kind of shows my age.
It's a little nostalgic.
July 18th, 2008.
Shit.
You guys all saw it in theaters, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to go see it in IMAX? It's coming back.
Actually, that might be a good idea. Maybe.
I'm going to go.
I'll think about it.
Big news, not that I'm going to promote it, but I was telling these guys, I just got AMC A-list. I'm not doing MoviePass anymore. And now I can go see IMAX movies.
But Max, why aren't you doing MoviePass anymore? Is it because
That's
it
for
sucks?
another episode, and because...
Is it because when you go to check in, they only offer you 3 movies per theater now?
And it's
that
at
you can
peak
see?
pricing. You have to pay an additional $3 a movie. I'm like, nah.
And constant outages, and they're going bankrupt, and their stock shares are less than $1
But hey,
each.
hey, shout out for them for changing the game and giving us so many cheap movies, because it would I wouldn't be going to movies as much as I do if it wasn't for MoviePass.
We probably
honestly.
wouldn't do this podcast if it wasn't.
True,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
No,
wouldn't be
to be
able to afford to go to the movies.
That would have been hella expensive.
Yeah. We would have had to pay $16 a movie.
But from the ashes of MoviePass, so a new phoenix will arise.
Yeah.
Apparently
Hopefully.
it's-
And I love
it might
A-list,
be
guys.
A-list, yeah.
I already got I could the release date for Dark Knight is August 24th or something. I already pre-ordered my tickets. It's amazing.
You already pre-ordered your ticket?
Yeah, dude, you can pre-order way in advance and get your
Damn,
seat.
dude.
Zach, shut up.
With MoviePass now, it's hey, there's a slight breeze outside, $3 more.
That's hilarious. Speaking of light breezes, Christian Bale. That was a bad transition.
Was that a breath of fresh air?
I don't know. Zach, do you want to tell us about The Dark Knight?
So, The Dark Knight is
Clear throat
Christopher
one more time.
Nolan's... I'm sorry.
All right, I'm leaving. Oh god, I'm overwhelmed. Stimulated.
I'm sorry, it's really hard to suck dick while you're doing a podcast.
Oh god, and cut.
Oh my... Max, how is he getting it so far in there?
Oh my god. Zach, tell me about the movie.
So, The Dark Knight
Leaving.
is the second Christopher Nolan Batman film in the Dark Knight trilogy. The story involves Bruce Wayne, who has been Batman for a couple years now, right?
Are we talking about Adam West Batman or this current Batman?
This current Batman.
Then yes.
I'm clearly not as good as Mike at recapping.
Yeah. If you guys are
Just
lucky,
flub it all
then maybe
over.
we'll do the next one with Mike.
So after the events of Batman begins, Batman's been patrolling the streets, shooting unarmed teenagers or something, when the Scarecrow comes back and starts up some trouble. So Batman goes to beat up the Scarecrow and finds that he's kind of inspired some other adults to also shoot unarmed teenagers, and he's not a big fan of that. So from there, a plot unfolds where multiple gangs become increasingly mad at Batman for ruining their business, up until the Joker comes along, and the Joker kind of unites all these gangs to go and try and fight Batman and cause chaos throughout the city.
Yas. Yas, chaos. Sorry, continue.
I mean, I think that's kind of the basic plot, right?
Yeah, but
Do we
I got
wanna go all the
no,
details?
no. We'll save details for spoilers.
And then his ex-girlfriend is dating this other guy, but then the other
Who's
guy
now a different actress, bothers me so much.
But she's such a better actress.
Yeah, it just bothered me.
Katie Holmes is like kind of annoying in the
I really
first
liked
one.
her, honestly.
Meh. Her whole part is just like kind of whatever.
Rachel!
Where is she?
Okay, but like, is in your opinion, gentlemen, is this the greatest superhero movie of all time? Because it is regarded as such in many, many, many people's minds.
So I was thinking about that this morning on my way over, right? And I knew that this was going to come up, and I know eventually it's going to lead to...
Yeah, I feel like you just have to start it there, right?
It's going to lead to an argument about what was better, Logan or The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Can we just like throw Infinity War in there? Is that like...
People are going to throw in Infinity War. People are going to throw in Black Panther.
That's the point I'm trying to get. Deadpool. That's the point I'm trying to get. Is
No, Deadpool. I'm sorry.
Deadpool is its own thing, I would say.
Sorry, go ahead.
Some people would say that Deadpool is, their favorite, what they think is the best superhero film out there, and part of that is because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
How about we think about it like this? Like,
Hold up.
wait.
Okay,
So
go for it.
Deadpool is probably the best Deadpool movie that we could ever get because it really embodies the character. Just
Yeah.
like the way The Dark Knight embodies Batman, probably in the best way we could ever see.
So here's my thing: is 10 years later, we've had so many superhero films, and DC at this time pretty much was just focused on the Dark Knight trilogy. They didn't care about any of their other characters too much, right? We got that weird Superman Returns movie that nobody liked, and then we got Man of Steel right after The Dark Knight Rises.
Which I loved.
Kevin Spacey is the Lex Luthor. Do you remember
in
that?
Superman Returns?
Like, wrong!
Yeah. So, my whole thing is that I love The Dark Knight. There's a reason it's coming back to IMAX 10 years later. Would I say it's the greatest of all time? I think that there's been too many variables and there's been too many different superhero movies that now it's hard to say what makes it a superhero movie anymore.
So my biggest thing about a superhero movie, I'll watch any superhero movie probably 100 times and still be obsessed with it. The reason I love The Dark Knight and I love Logan, those two specifically, because not only are those great movies, those are great pieces of film. Like, it is
Absolutely.
great cinema, it is great art, it is great storytelling. Like, okay, Avengers Infinity War, it was one of the greatest things I've ever experienced in my life. We all saw it together at the Alamo. It was awesome. But, like, it's not like it is a cinematic masterpiece. Like, it is, but, like, it's not like, I don't know.
I see. It's like a roller coaster. It's
I
a
don't know how
thrill
to
ride.
explain
Infinity War?
Yeah.
Infinity War feels more like an event. It feels something...
Yeah, it's like you've been
Infinity
waiting
War
10
kind of
years
felt like
for it.
an obligation in a sense of like, you guys saw all the movies, now you have to come see this.
And it was amazing.
Whereas with The Dark Knight, I think people were more like, oh, a Batman film? Yeah, of course I'm going to go see that. And I think people were blown away by how good it was. Even with Logan had high stakes because we had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for 20 years, and he came out and said this is his swan song. Mm-hmm. Once you make a statement like that, there's pressure that you need to deliver a strong film, which they did.
And what a swan song that was.
But with The Dark Knight, this was only the second film in trilogy. We saw another one coming afterwards.
Right.
And I will say this is, I think The Dark Knight really ruined superhero films for a while.
As far as, like, nothing can beat it.
I think that The Dark Knight was such a wild card that no one saw coming. I mean, Christopher Nolan is
I agree.
praised now, but before The Dark Knight...
I've not seen one bad film by him, except for Dunkirk. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll agree with you on that one. You know me.
I was
I
so
hate
bored.
Dunkirk.
I was so I wish I saw it in 90mm. Xander said it was like way better like that, but I was just so bored. I get why it's good, but that's not what we're talking about. Anyway,
We're talking about why it ruined the genre.
Continue.
What I'm saying is that, you know, before The Dark Knight, what Christopher Nolan films did you really have? You have Batman Begins, which I think is good. It was a really great new take on the
Such a
character
good
from
trilogy. Oh my God.
from fucking George Clooney. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about that. So Batman Begins is good. It's not. It's,
Bat nipples.
no one ever talks about Batman Begins being the greatest of all time, but it's still a
so
really
good.
It's a really solid Batman film.
It's the greatest trilogy of all time.
If like to explain to my kids who Batman is, like I'd probably just show them that. That's like a pretty solid explanation.
I would also.
They take
throw
some
in the Adam West stuff. I'm sorry.
They take some liberties with the mythos, but it's still a good film. And then you had Memento, which was also good, but wasn't super hyped.
Right.
Right? Thing about The Dark Knight is The Dark Knight was gritty and it was grounded and it was dark and it was violent. And then all of a sudden you have every superhero film needs to be, it's a dark and gritty reboot. Mm-hmm. You know, the Netflix shows, it's always dark. Like those are the key words, dark and gritty, right?
Sure.
We're making a Daredevil show, and you know it's gonna be real street level. It's gonna be dark and gritty. Okay, Daredevil, I could kind of understand, right?
They really nailed it with season 1 on there.
They
Yeah,
did.
but then when you do shit like we're making a Fantastic Four reboot that's dark and gritty, no, the Fantastic Four is like it's a family film. I was trying to explain this to my coworker the other day that people get the Fantastic Four wrong because they don't understand that the best inspiration for Fantastic Four should be like the old Lost in Space TV show. And the reason I say that because the best Fantastic Four comics are about a family going on interdimensional adventures or adventures out in space, you know, not four emo scientists who, you know,
Right.
get together in some crappy studio.
Was the first Fantastic Four movie as bad as... Or do you think it was as bad as it was still?
The first
The
Fantastic
first one,
The
yeah.
first,
fine.
it's
fine.
Exactly. That was exactly the words I was going to use. It's fine.
It's not like Catwoman where it's like, this is bad. It's like, this is a fine movie.
Do you remember we tried
Great.
to watch that? I think
Which
it just
one?
Catwoman.
Didn't we live stream it or something? We wanted to.
We periscoped it for like
It's so
a
good.
minute.
It's so bad. It's so good. It's almost like, I mean, it's not nearly as bad as The Room, but one of my friends, it's kind of like The Room. It's so bad, I don't know whether to give it 0 stars or 5 stars. You know?
But The Room is like just that perfect storm.
It's so
The
good.
Room is a classic.
And Catwoman is just like something I would put on if I,
just
want to
can't
fall
believe
asleep.
it's not, it was made.
I just can't believe it had Halle Berry in it and it was still that bad.
Halle Berry.
I was gonna say, who's Halle Berry?
Halle Berry.
She became a Jewish food. Halle Berry.
I can't believe Halal Berry is.
Halal.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, so like the Batman Begins, it was dark, gritty, but then 3 years later, Iron Man came out. So I don't think Marvel tried to copy it though, because Iron Man is something completely different than the Dark Knight trilogy. You know, but I know what you're saying that people tried to like do like the whole, oh my god, this worked for them. But I
Dude,
think
even
that Marvel,
Spider-Man, like that was the whole pitch for the Amazing Spider-Man franchise with Andrew
with
Garfield.
Garfield,
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna take him back to his roots, and he's gonna be in high school, and it's gonna be a dark and gritty Spider-Man.
that's not how they did it.
Spider-Man, there's some great Spider-Man stories out there that are dark and they are emotional and they have to do with real things. But the reason, again, why Spider-Man is such a great character is because he's an everyday guy dealing with these dark, depressing issues just like everyone else.
That's why Homecoming was so good.
Yeah.
Like I went back to watch Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man. I still love that movie actually.
Oh, dude.
Like that was a great movie.
Which one? Tobey Maguire?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
first one.
It's so good.
Because the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy does a good job of showing Peter stressed out.
Especially as when he's emo.
It was pretty dark too. Like in his final fight with Green Goblin,
What do
like,
you expect, dude?
punches the
Sam
shit out of
Raimi
him.
did The Evil Dead, which is one of like the greatest horror movies of all time.
True.
Yeah. But to me, we're kind of getting off topic, which I don't mind because I could talk about Spider-Man forever.
Yeah.
To me, there's just actually zero comparison between the Tobey Maguire and the Tom Holland Spider-Man. To me, there's absolutely no comparison. Tom Holland is just
they're different.
way above and beyond. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I love Tobey Maguire as an actor, and I think he's brilliant. But there's like, the thing about casting in Hollywood, cast someone who's gonna look the part. Like Tom Holland looks like he's 7.5, maybe.
No, yeah, I'm right.
But
there,
that's the thing though, is like,
he's not like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire aren't in high school.
okay, so look at Spider-Man. Like,
Bothers me.
What year did Spider-Man come out?
like 2000.
No. I mean, like the original comic, like issue 1, like Steve Ditko.
Oh, like
Stand by.
60s maybe.
Spider-Man.
I want to say 70s.
No.
Earlier. No, yeah, actually, you're probably right. 60s.
Max pulling up, but the point is that
Amazing Spider-Man #1.
there's been so many different stories and writers of Spider-Man that, you know, Spider-Man evolves. I'll be honest, I stopped reading Spider-Man comics after a while because it got to a point where Peter Parker became this character.
1962, August.
Okay.
Amazing Fantasy #15.
Told you, Mike.
All right, everyone.
Nice.
So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, Steve Ditko, when he first, you know, was writing Spider-Man, he created this angsty, aggressive teenager. If you read those old 60s comics, Peter, while he's in high school, he's kind of a pussy. He gets easily frustrated, and there's a lot of him, you know, just kind of yelling at people. But, you know, after a while, a new writer comes on, and they kind of do what they want with the character, to the point that, you know, up until I stopped reading Spider-Man comics, like, what was that, 2-3 years ago, Peter Parker was a, like, CEO of a corporation with a PhD and a different girlfriend and a whole new set of friends that I didn't even recognize. And it's like, you kind of have the same idea with the movies. The thing I don't understand about Spider-Man is why they keep pushing for this, like, younger
kid.
Spider-Man.
We've talked about this before. You want to see him as like
Yeah.
a CEO. I don't.
I don't want to see him as a CEO. That's not where I
You
want to see him.
like as an older guy, not.
I want to see him. I want to see him in like mid-20s. I want to see Peter working at the Daily Bugle. I want to see him struggling to have like a serious committed relationship with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I want to see Peter as an adult, but not a fully formed adult. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, I was pretty disappointed that Homecoming was another origin story for Spider-Man, because that's the third one.
It was an origin story.
Well, not like an well,
It's not an origin of his powers, but it's an origin of how he became Spider-Man
Kind
in a
of, yeah.
sense.
like it's another.
like how he found himself.
Yeah, exactly.
like we saw with Spider-Man.
It's how he came home.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. We saw it with Andrew Garfield. It's 3 times. That's a lot of times.
Stop making him younger, though. Like, there's thousands of Spider-Man stories that don't involve him in high school.
Yeah, I want to see
Then why was this the best one yet? In my opinion,
I think this one was the best one yet because Tom Holland, because of how well the script worked. I think Michael Keaton paid a big thing. But let's bring it back full
That's his
circle.
20th Birdman.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring it back full circle to The Dark Knight. And what I'm saying about, you know, you have different takes. Tim Burton's take on Batman was very different than Christopher Nolan's, and was very different than, you know, the Punisher in Batman versus Superman. And I love that you're rubbing your nipples.
I'm not doing that.
We're on here. The point is like, you know, dark and gritty works for Batman, but it doesn't work for everyone else. And the big part of why it works for Batman is Batman doesn't have any superpowers, and he's a big emo kid.
He has no friends.
Yeah, he's also a dick.
He is a dick.
Batman's an asshole.
He's a depressed dick. And when you're
Lego Batman portrayed him perfectly.
yeah, Lego
Just rewatched that the other day.
Lego
It's
Batman
perfect.
is funny
love that
because it
movie.
just rips on Batman.
Through like the last 80 years, or when was Adam West? That was probably also the 60s, 70s. I don't know.
When, like
So good.
Alfred's like,
60s.
Yeah,
so you've had a lot of phases. Or
it's
like
so
something like that.
good, man. Can't wait for Lego Movie 2. It's gonna be great.
But why was Dark Knight just such a not wild card, but like
Honest,
celebrated?
in my opinion, Heath Ledger, and I'm not saying that because like. I mean, listen.
I'll be
will
the asshole. I'll say it. It got a lot of coverage because Heath Ledger died.
Of course.
And it also got a lot of press because they contributed indirectly Heath Ledger's death to the role.
Totally. But, like, here's the thing about, like, what he did. I loved, the closest villain that was as good as Heath Ledger was Michael B. Jordan, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
Space Jam?
Yeah. As Killmonger in Black Panther. and he was amazing. That's the closest thing of a great acting part villain.
Don't get me
Heath
wrong.
Ledger.
I'm gonna say a lot of negatives about Heath Ledger's Joker because that's my job on this podcast.
Yeah, the asshole.
However, I love Heath Ledger's Joker. Now, the asshole comment I'm about to make is I
know
don't
what you're
think
gonna
there's
say.
ever what.
It's not true to the comics.
Yeah, there's never been a perfect Joker.
Yeah.
There's never been
There's
a perfect
also
Joker.
a shitload of Jokers, though. There's a lot of different kinds of Joker.
Yeah, but I want to see Joker set up the same way you would set up like.
You want to see like the Deadpool version of it where he's sick and like you want to see the Logan version of it where it's bloody and lots of stuff.
I don't need to see.
wants
That's
to
the thing is
see-
I don't need to see.
Does he like kill kids and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
He actually, well, killing joke. I don't want to just say it, but
Yes.
I didn't like
He does not get consent to inflict a very violent, terrible act on Barbara
Batgirl.
Gordon.
yeah.
And then takes pictures of him doing the violent act and, forces her dad to look at all the pictures.
That's messed up.
That is messed up. But that's the kind of messed up I want to see. I want to see someone that people are legitimately afraid of and go, wow, this guy's a psycho. Not someone that, a bunch of punk-ass kids out there see and go, oh, yeah, I want to wear a Joker shirt now.
Sure.
Actually, I could see Suicide Squad Joker doing that more than Heath Ledger's Joker.
And I would love to see it, but
I agree.
show me that. Don't show me Jared Leto
Well-
sitting on someone's lap and snarling like a cat.
Well, we can get into this Joaquin Phoenix. I think that
I'm so nervous.
I'm not. I have not seen him do one bad thing.
Is that the
Off the top of my
solo Joker movie that
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's an origin. And I think it's going to be really good.
I mean, cool, but... Well,
Who's
okay, never
directing
mind. We're
Todd Phillips, the guy who directed the Hangover trilogy.
to be fair,
That's
we're about to have a Venom movie, so I guess...
I'm so excited. It's going to be an IMAX too, I think.
Speaking of
Yeah.
the Joker, expanding on from that Venom movie, I don't know if you heard this, but they're doing a Morbius the Living Vampire movie starring Jared Leto as Morbius.
I heard about that. Like, why couldn't they have picked, like, a bigger
Max
character than
Joseph.
that?
Okay, I don't get why people hate on Jared Leto. I fucking love Jared Leto. Jared Leto,
I think his Joker's really good.
I love Jared Leto's Joker, and it's different than Heath Ledger's. And again, yeah, it's not a perfect Joker, but it's a fine Joker, just like Heath Ledger's Joker is a fine Joker.
Well, it's not about Jared Leto, though. For me, it's more about Morbius.
Listen,
Like,
Jared Leto is the brains behind one of the greatest rock bands ever. He's an Oscar winner. He's a method actor that commits to his roles. So leave Jared Leto alone.
yes, his dick is delightful. I understand.
All
But,
over.
they should, like, The Lizard or Doc Ock or Superior Spider-Man do, like, something like that. Nobody's heard of Morbius.
Well, they're about to learn.
Max, tell me who Morbius is right now.
Morbius, more like glorious.
Right, exactly.
Nailed it.
Like, they would have
Well,
to...
Sony's got kind of a limited, house of toys to play with.
I don't know.
I think they just announced, too, they're going to do a Craven movie, but no one's cast yet.
Craven, there you go. Another amazing villain.
Yeah.
So
He
show
fucking
me
buries
show me them
Spider-Man
in a
alive.
Spider-Man movie. I'm tired. I don't want to see these.
And then he kills himself because he's just so fucking complete after doing that.
Here, I'm gonna go back to
Joaquin
Heath Ledger.
Phoenix?
No, I'm gonna go back to Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger put on one of the greatest performances I have ever seen in a movie. I could not believe what I was watching.
Did you-
And I think it was before I understood really what suicide was, because I've gone through that process and started, like, we've all, like, now that we're older, we all know what's going on with that, and like there was a big stigma about what suicide is, and that it's like I'm not gonna get into it. That's another.
I don't.
But anyway,
Was it ruled as a suicide though? I thought it was accidental or something.
yeah, I think, yeah. I guess I don't know. I feel like I remember it being an overdose or something, but
I think he took too many sleeping pills because he was so emotionally traumatized.
Yeah. But like before I knew all of like what the really gritty details of that was, I mean, like, come on. It was one of the most beautiful, heart-wrenching, like, sick, twisted performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I believed every second of what he did. All of his improv moments, like when he claps in the jail, and like the pencil thing. I think that was improv too. Come on.
Yeah. No,
It was masterful.
I used to think that his performance was overrated, but I think I was just kind of like being contrarian. Was like, you know, it's like whatever.
It's like when people say, like, not that you guys will add too much to this, but like when people say Wicked the musical is overrated, I'm like, shut up, that's a perfect show.
Like it's still like despite
It's so amazing.
despite
Never
opinions,
seen it, no comment.
it's well done.
Right, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I was thinking
Someone
about
say Shawshank is overrated. I'm like, go away. Shawshank is a perfect movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, okay, chill out. All right.
No, and I guess that's overall what I'm trying to say is, you know, Heath Ledger did a perfect job with what he had. I don't think it's a perfect version of the Joker as a comic book nerd, but that's not Heath Ledger's fault.
like opinions aside, his method acting was amazing.
I also think that Heath Ledger does just as good of a job as a lot of the other actors in the movie, though. I would argue Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon is
It's my favorite
fantastic.
thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not. Sirius Black is my favorite thing he's ever done.
What about Dracula?
I have to be honest.
You've never seen Bram Stoker's
I have
Dracula?
not.
Dude, it's got Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
And The Love of My Life, 1990s Winona Ryder.
1990s.
I'll never be in love with anyone as much as 1990s Winona Ryder.
What about 1992, Fresh Out of the Womb, Max Joseph?
Maybe. That's
Am I going out on a limb here by saying that maybe Christian Bale is the weakest actor out of the entire cast?
I was gonna say, I feel like he's just as good as Heath Ledger.
No, he's amazing. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but like listing all those other people who are in the movie, Batman feels like kind of a weaker character than the job that everybody else did.
But I think it's not his movie.
No.
It was the Joker's movie.
Yeah.
Just like it was Bane's movie.
Yeah.
Batman Begins was Batman's movie.
I feel like this film really revolves around four quintessential characters, and everyone else is just kind of a
Joker.
plot device.
Harvey Dent,
Yeah.
Batman,
Bruce, right.
Rachel.
and Sirius Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
I
did
agree.
play Sirius Black, didn't he?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Because Gary Oldman,
National Treasure.
Gary Oldman has a big role in this, with the whole, you know, them thinking he's dead, him getting promoted, his family getting at risk, the tension with Harvey Dent. Even Rachel is just kind of used as a plot device for the plot, which I'll put it on record right now. When I was 15 and I saw this movie, that blew my mind that they killed the girl. No superhero movie ever kills the girl. The
True.
superhero always saves the girl.
It's true.
That's why it was so shocking.
They
that,
did
like,
not pull their punches.
when he opened the door and Dent's just like, no, not me, you're supposed to get her. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, it was brutal, dude.
I just remember when she's on the phone with Harvey and then she just blows up.
It's awful.
As a teenager in the theater, I'm just like, did that just happen?
Yeah. She's like starting to say something. Harvey, you know.
And I'll give Christopher.
His face goes on fire.
I'll give Christopher Nolan this too, and maybe this is this kind of also had a negative impact on the superhero movie industry. Is Christopher Nolan doesn't really seem like a comic book fan in general. You know, all of his movies, like we've talked a lot about the dark and gritty part, but we don't really talk about the grounded part. But there's no superpowers in any of these movies. There's no weird origins. Like for Two-Face, he's a guy who, you know, had to
Lost
listen
everything.
had to listen to his girlfriend die and got his face burned off, not by chemicals, but with straight fire and gasoline. Like that's a grounded Two-Face intro.
Yeah.
But it also kind of painted the universe in a corner. I guess I'm glad they only did a trilogy, because like you could never do something like Man-Bat or Poison Ivy in these movies. You know, there's no Mr. Freeze. Like
Sure.
I would love to have seen a Christopher Nolan Mr. Freeze. That sounds fucking cool.
I also would have loved
you
to
can't
see.
do a grounded Mr. Freeze. Though.
That
He's got
sounds
a
cool.
fucking ice gun.
I wish that they. I mean, I wish that they did it. I wish that they did a Joseph Gordon-Levitt Robin. I really do. They set it up,
that's
and
right.
I really wish they did it.
That would've been awesome.
Especially after I saw Drew and I saw Teen Titans yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was all about like Robin wants his own movie, and it was so funny. And like the whole time I was thinking, I'm ready for that Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie.
I'm gonna
Like
step off on a
Nightwing.
tangent here. Have you guys seen the trailer for the Titans show that's coming on the DC streaming service?
They make
Wait.
a DC service?
Oh yeah, the live action one looks like.
Where Robin
Stupid.
breaks someone's neck and says "fuck Batman."
Yeah.
No.
Wait, I think I just
looks-
cut myself on all that edge.
It looks so. It looks so dark and gritty.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it's-
just said that?
And stop,
Stay up.
like I feel like The Dark Knight was a good film that ruined superhero films for a while, and I feel like what really
disagree
saved it
with
was
that.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I disagree.
I feel like
Yeah.
with Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn was like, yeah, here's a talking raccoon and a tree person, and go fuck yourselves, and people loved it. So then they see that, and then once studios realize that,
You don't need dark and gritty.
you don't need dark and gritty, like people have been buying these comics for the last 60, 70 years
Right.
because of the characters in it, not because we need to see some dude in a riot suit go beat up a bunch of bad guys.
The second I saw that trailer, or not the trailer, but the second I heard Robin say "fuck Batman," I was like, I'm not watching this stupid shit.
Oh, I have to watch it. It looks hilarious.
I didn't even know about this.
It's a live action Teen Titans show, and I don't know. It's just like too much.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's
It
gonna
sounds
be like
perfect though, kind of.
what was that terrible movie / show with the not Thunderbolts?
Thundercats?
No, the guy that's
Inhumans?
Inhumans. That's it. Thank you. Hey,
That got
LMAO.
silently swept under the rug.
It sure did. God. Wait, Dark Knight. What do we think about Aaron Eckhart?
Amazing.
I think it's sad he didn't really do anything after this. The only thing I really remember him doing after
Olympus
this was
Has Fallen?
I never saw that.
I just rewatched both of them. He's great.
Did you ever see that crappy Frankenstein movie he did though?
Yeah, it was so
Where
dumb.
he fights
Loved it.
gargoyles or something weird.
Stand by.
The
What's this
gargoyles
shit
are also
I think
angels.
it's called I Frankenstein.
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Aaron Brockovich, The Wicker Man, Black Dahlia, I Frankenstein.
It's pretty.
Oh my.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's watchable though. It's not good, but it's pretty watchable.
Bill Nye is in it.
I think it's a good movie to
Bill Nye is in
grab
Bill
grab
Nye-
some
Nye, I don't know
drinks
his name.
and
Not
watch
Bill-
with
I
a
wish Bill Nye,
friend.
the science guy, was in it.
I was like, when
Yo,
the
I
fuck
saw
did-
him on the street and I had a panic attack. I've never been so starstruck in my life.
How'd you
Not this guy.
recognize him? He always wears makeup.
Not this guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. No.
Oh.
I saw him on the street after I opened a show, and he was like in his fly purple suit with this purple bow tie with a girl on his arm.
What?
And I stopped in my tracks and screamed. I have never been so starstruck in my life.
And did you say anything to him?
No, he was like across the street, and I was on my way to a party for the show.
Bill
I was
Nye the
opening.
ladies guy.
I was so starstruck.
That's pretty awesome.
I know.
Did you unzip his pants right there?
No.
Do you guys feel like Two-Face is wasted in this movie at all?
He does actually kind of seem like an alcoholic, doesn't he?
What?
What?
Wasted? You mean like drunk, right?
No, I think he,
No.
like a wasted use of him.
Oh, whoops.
What? What is on your mind at 10 a.m. on a Saturday?
What's in that Starbucks?
No, I mean, he could be an alcoholic. He kind of seems like it, doesn't he?
No.
No, you don't get that at all? I can see that.
There's like one scene where he's in a bar and I think he like takes a shot. But
And then
Well,
it
then he
drips
shoots
out his
him.
mouth because he's got no face. Or half a face, I mean.
I don't think. What do you mean wasted? Just like he wasn't like given enough screen time?
he doesn't become Two-Face until very late in the game. And I remember when I first saw this movie, there's like 3 or 4 different points where I was like, okay, like this movie
It's time.
This movie has to be ending. This movie has to be ending. I'm glad it didn't, but it seems like even the Two-Face reveal, like they could have ended the movie right there, and the third movie could have been, Two-Face's
The
main
second
villain.
half of it made into 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
Hours. Sure.
Like, I don't need like 40 minutes of Two-Face crammed in at the very end, because Two-Face is a cool villain.
Yeah. He could have had his own movie.
Yeah, or
But then we might not have gotten what we got.
Yeah.
I would have rather had a Two-Face movie than the Bane that we got.
What?
Of all the villains that we get in the Dark Knight trilogy, I think Bane is my least favorite of all.
I love Bane.
break you.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that, but I think Bane is my favorite Batman villain.
Bane is supposed to be a strategic and obsessive very large Hispanic man who grew up in Santa Prisca prison.
Yeah.
I see that we are watching a football game.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be a shame if there were bombs under the football stadium?
Starring the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's like my favorite part. It's like Heinz Ward is in there with Ben Roethlisberger. I was like, wait, they actually got the Pittsburgh Steelers to play?
Wait, that's a real team?
Yeah, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, wow. I thought it was just like the Gotham football guys or
No,
whatever.
Ben Roethlisberger.
That's actually Gotham's real team, the Gotham football guys.
I think they even had the right numbers. I think Heinz Ward was 86, and I think he had 86, and he had the yellow jersey too, just like the Steelers.
So they killed them.
Yeah!
They killed the
Killed the Steelers.
Wow.
And I hate them because I'm a Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, I liked Bane a lot, actually. I couldn't understand 98% of the things he was saying, but I also 98% of the time can't understand what Tom Hardy's saying. In the trailers for Venom, I can barely understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know how... Well, okay, that's entirely... I was going to say something about Venom, but maybe we should stick more to Batman.
Well,
Well, if it's relevant, just throw it out there. I mean, Venom's coming up. That's anticipated.
The train has passed, Zach.
Okay.
I got my ticket, but it's already gone.
Well, it sounds like you wasted your money and my time.
The Dark Knight expands upon
Boom,
everything
got him.
that's... The Dark Knight expands upon everything that was amazing about Batman Begins, and I feel like Batman Begins is not given enough credit for what a good movie it is in that way. I think it's overshadowed by The Dark Knight just because of Heath Ledger and...
what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel you there.
Because I just watched half of Batman Begins the other day since it's on Netflix now, I think.
I think all three are on Netflix now, right?
Is Rises on Netflix too?
I'm not sure. I know The Dark Knight was for sure though.
Okay, but
because I literally saw it on Netflix right after I put the Blu-ray in.
but
I
Batman
got all
Begins
three of
is
those Blu-rays.
awesome. I think it's great, and I think
Liam
it's
Neeson, come on.
yeah.
Come on. The man can't die. He doesn't die. Let's be honest here. He's still alive. I just watched that Family Guy episode where Peter
You
tries to
trick
kill him.
my dirter.
What?
Taken, dude. You trick my dirter.
Oh.
I was like,
Even though they made too many movies of those, I
You-
still loved them.
Took my League of Assassins.
I love it. I love Batman. You guys need to go see Teen Titans. It's so funny.
It's on the list.
It's so good.
we'll get there eventually.
God.
Man.
Are there spoilers that we want to talk about with this?
It's 10 years.
But here's the thing: if you haven't seen this movie, then there's something wrong with you, and you shouldn't be listening to us talk.
Yeah.
There's a time limit on movies. If you haven't seen The Dark Knight in 10 years and you're listening to this podcast,
You must be related to me, and must be like my grandmother.
Yeah,
She would just be listening to this just to say hi.
I watched that movie with the one guy who saves all the people.
And did the one thing, and he
Yeah.
also had the one girl who was in it who
Was
I
he
know
a
from this
devil
movie.
man?
I didn't like that clown so much, but the guy in the suit was pretty great.
Who's the greatest Alfred of all time?
Michael Caine. I mean, that's
Jeremy Irons.
Ooh,
I like Jeremy Irons. Alfred.
I like Jeremy Irons a lot too, very much.
Is that
But his
weird?
Alfred is he isn't even really in the movie all that much. He's got some interesting parts. Michael Caine is just in his own fucking
so
league.
brutally honest, and those few monologues he has, especially in Dark Knight Rises, when he says what if I burnt that letter?
Dude, you have a
safe to say
tattoo. You have a tattoo that says "Why do we fall?"
Yeah.
which is
Doesn't mean it's my favorite Alfred. Christian Bale is my favorite Batman by far. I think Ben Affleck is a great Batman.
You're wrong.
But I think Ben Affleck is a great Batman, but I can't give my heart to that Batman on account of he uses machine guns to rip people in half.
I I love Ben Affleck. I think he is brilliant.
Here's the
He is
thing.
not Batman.
Michael Caine is like a fun Alfred because he really kind of adopts that like father figure in a sense. But I like Jeremy Irons Alfred, I think, because Jeremy Irons Alfred is he's a little more snarky. He is definitely scrappier. You know, he's not afraid to get behind the wheel and really like, you
Sure.
know, assist Bruce. Plus it's the voice of Uncle Scar. So like, how could you not appreciate that?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons?
He
Never
voiced
put that
Scar in
together.
Lion King.
Never put that together.
What did you think Jeremy Irons was from?
I mean, he has a long list of credits, I believe.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I wouldn't say Lion King is what he's most
That's
known
what I was like.
for.
I don't think that's what he's.
That's probably one of the biggest things I'd say he's known for.
I like the part where he threw Batman off a cliff and was like, "This is my kingdom now."
Yeah, that is a great moment in Suicide Squad.
Oscar-nominated Suicide Squad. Wait, was
no Academy Award.
it Academy
winning.
Award winning? Right.
It won. Yeah, I guess Lion King is what he's known for. Oh, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Huh. Yeah. Oh, he's also a big theater guy.
That's
He's won
cool.
lots of awards.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
What else can we say about The Dark Knight? Like, besides...
Do you
know,
feel
it's
like your
amazing.
opinion has changed in the last 10 years at all?
As far as
Or just anything with this movie, I guess. I mean, I don't necessarily feel like it's too long anymore.
I like...
I didn't
did you think it was too long?
Well, I told you when I first saw it, there was like 3 or 4 different times where I'm like, okay, this is it. It's over.
Yeah, but you didn't say
Okay,
that meant
this
like
is
it was too long.
Yeah, I
You
thought
thought it
you
was
were...
gonna end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I'm in the theater, I don't, you know, after a while, it kind of gets frustrating, I think, where you're like, okay, when is this movie over?
Sure.
Well,
I don't
watching
think
it
I felt that way.
Watching it at home, though, like, not at a movie theater, I'm sure you love
well,
it.
I'm saying 10 years later, like, that's one thing I definitely feel different about now. You know, now that I've seen the movie, you know, however many times I've seen it, I can watch it and I don't feel like it's too long.
The only different opinion I have is that I'm not sure I don't think it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. That's my only different opinion. I still think it's
Logan.
brilliantly acted. I do think Logan. It's interesting. I was looking at what Rotten Tomatoes has. I disagree with their list 100%. They have Black Panther as number 1. Then they have Wonder Woman.
Do they have a genre that's just superhero?
I would say The Dark Knight and Logan are much better than Black Panther.
I agree. I love Black Panther, but I don't think it's the greatest superhero movie of all time.
I really like Black Panther.
yeah. They have Black Panther.
The problem with Black Panther is that Black Panther is better in Civil War than he is in his own movie.
No, I
That's
wouldn't
not
say
an accurate
that.
statement.
That is so accurate.
He's too badass.
In Civil War, we get that awesome monologue where he stops Zemo from killing himself. We see this angsty young man whose father just died go on a solo mission to get revenge, and in the Black Panther film, we see him quoting memes, asking, "What are those?"
I don't really remember that part. I gotta watch it again. I only saw it once.
Watch Civil War and then rewatch Black Panther, but only pay attention to T'Challa in those two movies, and you get a much better characterization in Civil War.
Black Panther. Then they have Wonder Woman, Logan. I 120,000% disagree with this. Then they have Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok's a fun movie.
That's
Then they have The
amazing
Dark
movie.
Knight. Then they have Homecoming, Civil War, the original Avengers, Iron Man, and then at 10 they have Incredibles 2.
And what is this? Just superhero genre?
Correct.
Best super... Wait, Incredibles 2?
Well,
Yeah.
Incredibles.
I loved the Incredibles 2. I loved it more than the first one.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it
The
yet.
Incredibles
twice.
is the best Fantastic Four film out there. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. But I don't get everyone's obsession with Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was great. I don't get why it's the best. I will
It's
never understand
hilarious.
it. It's so funny, but to me it's not even top 3 for the MCU.
Cinematography, comedy,
It's great. It's
acting,
Great. It's great.
is solid. Like, I don't know.
I think the thing about Thor Ragnarok is it's a really fun ride from start to end.
Great music.
Great fight scenes. Great,
Yeah.
Great characters.
I can't say anything bad about Thor Ragnarok. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And I'm coming from a place where it's like, Fly the Conchords, hilarious show if you haven't seen it.
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We
Remember I
Do-
made you watch
exactly,
that? That
yeah.
movie's that's one of my
Great movie.
favorite comedies. I actually made a list. I was on Letterboxd. If we want to deviate here and do something random, I made a list of some of my favorite comedies.
Just in general.
Okay.
Is Airplane at the top of the list?
Airplane is definitely on there.
Airplane is great.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
You like gladiator movies?
Man,
Top 10 favorite comedies. We're going down the list right now.
do it.
Role Models.
Haven't seen it.
Airplane.
Yep.
Okay.
Blazing Saddles.
Sure.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Young Frankenstein.
Yes, thank
That's
you.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh, it's so
I know.
good.
I know. I love him too.
The
Gene Wilder.
Blues Brothers.
Okay, yeah. What?
I know.
The Other Guys.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Vacation.
Haven't seen it.
Wait, what? Vacation?
Vacation.
What's that?
Dude, Chevy Chase, Vacation.
Oh, National
National
Lampoon. Yeah,
Lampoons?
yeah, okay.
Oh,
Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
are you kidding?
Is that really above Airplane?
No, I'm not going in any particular order. These
you
are
have
just
Talladega
in
Nights in
general.
your top 10?
That movie's hysterical.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I love Will Ferrell.
All
But
right.
I don't think it's.
Listen, Max, your idea ain't worth a velvet portrait of a whale and a dolphin getting it on.
I have questions about what that just was, but go ahead.
And Joe Dirt.
I haven't seen.
I love Joe Dirt. That movie's hysterical.
I
would
like
have,
Joe
like-
Dirt. I haven't seen that in like.
I would have like Anchorman and maybe Zoolander in there.
Oh, I should put.
Happy Gilmore?
I should.
Happy Gilmore, The Water
Nah.
Boy,
Billy Madison?
Billy Madison.
I think I'm actually gonna go replace Joe Dirt with Anchorman. That's a
Fuck,
really
what was
valid
the,
idea. Anchorman's phenomenal.
What was that Chris Farley movie? Also with the guy
Animal
from
House?
Joe Dirt?
no, that's
No, you're thinking of.
Oh, dude, Tommy
John
Boy.
Joe Busha?
Tommy Boy.
What's his name?
John Buscemi.
Tommy Boy.
Farley.
Thank you. Yeah, you're thinking of that other SNL.
Nope, not Buscemi. It's not Steve Buscemi. John. Look, I'm a zit. Yeah, that.
I always,
What's his name?
I always love me some Paul Rudd.
John Belushi. John Belushi.
That's it. Thank you.
I always love me
Also
some
in
Paul
Blues
Rudd.
Brothers.
Yes. Gone too soon. That man.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I love Lamp.
Do you love Lamp, or are you just saying things that you love? I love Lamp. Man.
Yeah, I saw that, Max. You killed a guy.
Yeah. I did not.
Should probably lay low, find some family or something.
Do you guys watch Anchorman too? I have not, because I don't want it to taint Anchorman.
It's a lot of retreading of the same old jokes.
I haven't seen either of them.
You haven't seen the original Anchorman?
No.
Dude.
There's a lot of. I mean,
Movie
to
night.
be fair, I
role
just did
models,
it.
role models, and Anchorman,
I
or
gotta-
Airplane and Anchorman. I don't care.
We'll start off with Airplane.
I know I just did that to you, but I really tried to not be like, oh my god, you haven't seen that? Like,
Surely you must be
I'm more than
joking.
happy to do that to people.
like I try not to though, because
Why?
like there's a million things that everybody hasn't seen that somebody else has. Like I just
have, you guys. Do you want me to? I'm gonna do a quick thing while you guys are talking. I'm gonna read off the movies I'm embarrassed I haven't seen. List. You guys are gonna shit yourself.
okay.
Oh,
You're gonna be so ashamed.
Okay,
You're gonna be ashamed.
quick point while he's bringing up the list. I just saw Godfather like 2 weeks ago for
Terrible
the first
movie.
time.
Terrible movie.
No. And when I was thinking about Heath Ledger's acting this morning, I was trying to compare it to like, you know, what else is like a really good character actor that's just like in the perfect bubble almost, if you will.
Not to be a smartass, Joaquin Phoenix or Jared Leto.
Yeah, they're also very good, but like
They're very good. But you asked about character actors. I'm saying they're both very good character actors. Like look at Joaquin Phoenix. He played Johnny Cash. He was in
Yeah.
Her. Like
No, I
Joaquin
agree with
Phoenix,
you.
Like he has a very wide range. And again, Jared Leto too. Jared Leto went from playing, teenage heroin addict living in Coney Island to playing transvestite with AIDS, the guy that killed John Lennon. Like,
yeah.
both of those guys have very wide ranges. And the thing about Heath Ledger is Heath Ledger got so much shit when he was first cast as the Joker because he hadn't really done anything like that before. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it was just because it was most recent that I saw Godfather, but I thought like Heath Ledger's Joker was a great characterization of, not characterization, but he did just as good as Marlon Brando in a way of how Marlon Brando did The Godfather.
Did you guys know that Robin Williams almost played the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman?
Yeah.
Really?
I think I did. That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
If I remember the story right, I think they asked Jack Nicholson first, and Jack Nicholson said no.
That I know.
And then they asked Robin Williams, and right before Robin Williams was like about to sign the contract to play the Joker, Jack Nicholson came back and was like, "No, I want to do it." So they were like, "Okay, bye, Robin Williams." Yeah, and they got Jack Nicholson.
All right, guys, are you ready?
Let's go. Max's list of movies he's embarrassed he hasn't seen.
I'm not even gonna pause for effect. Here we go.
Any particular order?
Alphabetical.
Okay.
Starting with numbers.
Oh God.
12 Angry Men, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Annie Hall, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Dead Poet Society, Gone with the Wind, Goodfellas, Kramer vs. Kramer, Lawrence of Arabia, Midnight Cowboy,
Wait.
Miracle on 34th Street, Hold On to It, Raging Bull, Saving Private Ryan, Scarface, Seven Samurai, Taxi Driver, The Sound of Music, Vertigo, First Blood, I guess it's not in alphabetical order, My Dinner with Andre, Total Recall, Young Frankenstein, Silver Streak, History of the World Part 1, Life of Brian, Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, Blue Velvet, True Romance, Fletch, Smokey and the Bandit, The Cannonball Run, Tron, Little Shop of Horrors, Spies Like Us, Stripes.
Ow.
What is Stripes?
Stripes is a great movie with Bill Murray where he joins the army.
Yeah. And maybe Vertigo. I don't think I've heard of that one either.
Alfred Hitchcock.
I don't really like Alfred Hitchcock that much.
You don't like Alfred Hitchcock?
Also, Amelie.
Did he do
The Deer
2001: A Space Odyssey?
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley
2001:
Kubrick.
Space
never mind.
Odyssey.
Which, by the way, crazy overrated. I hate that movie.
Listen, we're all good Christian boys here on Going In Deep.
That's not
so we don't
accurate.
advocate for, recreational substance use. But 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've heard is a particularly fun film to watch under
Really?
the influence.
Do people really say that?
That's what I've heard. That's what someone at church told me.
If I wanted to watch somebody walk down a ramp for like 10 minutes,
10 minutes.
then yeah, I'll watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
You don't want a giant fetus floating in space?
See, that's not even what bothered me the most about the movie, and
Don't
it
give
was
anything away.
You can't spoil
No,
this
wait.
movie, Max. It's not that type of movie.
I won't.
movie?
2001:
To the-
Space
I
I don't know
Odyssey.
what
Wait,
anything
wait.
happens.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you.
I've seen it 3 times, and I don't know what happens in it.
How did you watch it 3 times? Anyway, just quick thing, and this is why I don't like that movie. There's a scene where they're walking down to the black monolith, which I'm assuming you've seen in some media, whatever.
No idea.
It's an object in the movie. It doesn't matter. I'm not spoiling anything. They're walking to it, and that's like the longest scene. Like they're walking down a ramp to it. It's just like cut to like.
It's
a different time.
An interesting film.
It made me so mad.
Well,
So I guess before we wrap up this Dark Knight podcast,
was it Dark Knight though? We kind of just talked.
The retrospective.
we had a main function of our talking.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on Batman and the Gotham universe moving forward? Now let's go over some things because I know you guys, have more of a social life than I do, so you're not constantly checking their news. But we have the Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips Joker movie in development,
Robert De Niro's supposed to join it.
right? And Zazie Beetz is in it too.
Who the fuck is Zazie Beetz?
The girl from Deadpool 2 in Atlanta.
Is that her
Domino.
legal name?
That's her legal name.
Okay. I mean, she's awesome.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She was so good in
Oh my
Deadpool.
god.
Continue.
Sorry, I just,
Went through it.
I got Zazie Beetz in my
I-
head, and
He got like really hard for a second and then it dropped.
Wow. All right.
so we have Matt Reeves' Batman movie coming up. Apparently, Jared Leto is getting his own Joker standalone film, and they're doing a Suicide Squad 2,
They sure are.
and
Jesus Christ.
Harley Quinn is going to star in the Birds of Prey spin-off movie, which is supposed to have
Is it Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie,
Great. Love her.
Cassandra Cain, the Huntress, and Black Canary.
Okay. A little underwhelming, but all right.
Well, that's a lot of Gotham-based movies coming out. So
Yeah, but to be fair, there's also going to be like a Silver Sable and whoever else movie. That sounds kind of like whatever too.
well, we're talking about Gotham movies right now, Mike.
All right, go ahead.
Well, what's your opinion on all those? Too many? Not enough?
I don't know.
Will they be
about these
good? Will
things.
they not?
Much like the comics, there's too many Bat characters and too many Batman characters.
There's so many characters, it's ridiculous. I had nothing to watch, so I got caught up on The Flash, and spoilers for...
I'm actually not going to listen because I'm not caught up.
Okay, I'll avoid spoilers then.
Great.
There's a character that shows up in the end of this most recent season of The Flash that I wanted to know if it was an actual Flash comic character. So I looked up the Flash comics, who is on Barry's team, who are all of his sidekicks. It is, if you think Batman has a lot of sidekicks, it's crazy how many speedsters are in the Flash comics.
Yeah, that's also really fucking lame.
Because the Flash brings in time travel, so there's a lot of this is Barry's grandchildren and great-grandchildren from the future that have come back, and they're his sidekicks, but he also has 5 nieces and nephews.
Well, super speed is kind of OP, I guess, which is the only way I can really justify it in my head, at least.
The point is, though, is I think it's easy to say oh, Batman has a lot of characters and a lot of side characters, whatever. But I think DC Comics in general, every superhero you look at, has so many characters. Look at
Condiment Man.
Condiment King.
I love it.
So good.
Look at Green Lantern. You know how many Green Lanterns there are?
That's different,
That
though.
but I mean that have their own names and have their own character backstories, and it's some random fucking alien in the background.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, there's an entire federation. It's a company that, well, not it's an organization.
a core even.
Yeah, almost like a core of Green Lanterns, right? Whereas there's 20 Bat characters, and it's all because they've just been trained by Batman, which seems a little more ridiculous in its own way.
I don't know about that. I mean, that's not always true.
There's 4 Robins, there's 3 Bat girls, and then there's a couple new ones there in the comics.
But
right?
readers aren't dumb. All these characters have their own unique backstory. Otherwise, if it's exactly the same, it doesn't quite sell as well,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm coming from a position where I don't read all about those characters, so just glossing over it seems whatever,
Dick, Jason, Tim, and Damien have all been Robin, but they're
Dick Jason.
Dick Jason. But their backstories are different. Their personalities are different.
Yeah.
It doesn't keep it as there's 20 Batmans you're watching. And a lot of these characters honestly have their own comics and stuff because, let's be honest, Batman sells all the, that's DC's flagship character.
I mean, I'm a little
Batman himself has 5 different comics.
yeah. Which is, I mean, I like to see new ones, I guess. I don't know.
So do
I want to see new
Batman's my favorite DC character, and even I think there's too many Batman comics.
I thought he was your favorite superhero.
No, I like to keep my Marvel and my DC separate but equal.
He likes to superhero around,
Yeah.
play the field a bit.
Yeah.
Gross.
Aquaman's cool because there's not 20 Aquamans. There's
Please be good.
He's got Aqualad, but then there's also the reptilian
There's
guy.
Aqualad. I have a new calling.
Oh, Max, there's Aqualad, Tempest, Aquagirl.
No. I don't care about
Mara,
anyone else that's
Merc.
not named Lad.
What's the reptilian one in Young Justice? He's cool as shit. He's
it's Lagoon Boy? Is that?
yeah, that's
is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he a
Lagoon Boy.
relative of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy?
I've only seen that guy in Young Justice. I've actually never seen Lagoon Boy in a comic. Have you?
No, but I think he was cool in Young Justice. I really love that show.
Calder's a badass.
Yeah, Calder's awesome.
Dude, Young Justice, I kind of want the DC streaming service just for Young Justice. That Young Justice is the quintessential DC TV show. Not The Flash, not Arrow, not fuck Batman Titans.
Not the Super Friends.
Not the Super Friends. Young Justice, man. Young Justice.
Back at the Legion of Doom.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice,
Superman is flying around the planet to turn back time.
you'll never catch me, Superman.
Wow, you guys are really good. You guys should be actors, or at
We
least
should be
voiceover actors. We should talk to Tyler about it.
Yeah. Could I voice a CGI character?
I think so.
I am Groot.
Yo soy Groot.
Well,
Final thoughts on
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight?
It holds up 10 years later.
Holds up to still be one of the greatest superhero movies ever made.
I like it a lot more thinking back on it, because I was like, oh, like Batman Begins doesn't get enough credit, which I still believe wholeheartedly,
Me too.
but I'm a lot more appreciative of Heath Ledger's Joker.
So good. It's masterclass.
All right, guys. So I guess that's it. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with something exciting to talk about. And Mike, you want to send us off?
This is going in deep, going dark.